Hello students, again welcome back for our e-learning online session for the subject Business Economics for BCCA 3rd Sem. Today we are going to see the importance of demand forecasting, scope of demand forecasting and different types of demand forecasting. Before this we have seen what is demand forecasting and why there is a need of demand forecasting. Okay, looking the past experiences, considering the mistakes or the things which have put the business unit into a wrong direction, that should be avoided, means the mistakes which have been made in the past, okay, which should not be repeated. Then what is the present situation, what is the present scenario, okay, and then considering this two, means past and present, the things or the issues are sorted or the decisions are taken for the future decisions, okay, and that it means those forecasting is a kind of prediction or deciding things in advance for the future of the demand, and this is what is demand forecasting. Okay, in that we have also gone through the definition and we have seen that the demand forecasting, it is a probability of demand. What is that? It is a probability, means such things may take place, such things might happen in case of demand of the commodity. Now, as it is said that future is always uncertain, as business itself is with lot of risks and uncertainties. Being a commerce students, this is always said that the business is always uncertain and lot of risk is involved in that. And in demand forecasting we have seen that it is uncertain. Why it is uncertain? Because the estimations, the predictions which are made for the future are not going to be accurate or 100% correct for the future. It means what? It is a probability of demand. It is just a probability. Probably we are saying that this might happen. Probably we can consider, we can decide the rates of the product in advance, but it may be possible that another competitor will enter into the market and he will sell the product at a higher prices and he will earn more profit. So whatever has been predicted may not be true in every time or may not be true for the future. So demand forecasting, as it is said, it is not 100% guaranteed with guarantee, or it is sure that whatever the things are projected, whatever things are decided, whatever things are considered for the future are correct always. So it is uncertain because finally it is estimation, finally it is taking the experiences of the past and considering or moving with the present situation. The future is forecasted. That is why the word itself is forecasting, means the things are thought in advance for the future. So here we will see the importance of demand forecasting. Importance means these are the certain points which I have written here. In these cases, in these situations, the demand forecasting is required or demand forecasting is done, or we can say demand forecasting is essential. Now, importance of demand forecasting is having its first point, that is production planning. Now, while planning the production, a manufacturing unit, a producer, being a producer, he has to make various decisions. He has to take lot of decisions for his production, for his future. Then there are the things like the requirement of raw material, the requirement of manpower, the requirement of machinery, okay, the things which need to be planned, which are necessary or which are essential for the production, that are getting forecasted in demand forecasting. So for production planning, demand forecasting is necessary. What is that? For production planning, demand forecasting is necessary. You are producing, you are in case of, you are in the business of refrigerator production. Now, in case of refrigerator production, what might be get forecasted? The raw material which is required for producing a one unit of refrigerator, okay, what the products means the inner, as you know that refrigerators, it requires raw material like steel, it requires the raw material like rubber, it requires the raw material like aluminum. There are so many various raw materials which are included in that production. So all the products, all the things which are necessary for producing a single product has been considered in demand forecasting. So before taking production activity in actual, means before starting the production activity, certain things need to be planned, and that planning is covered in demand forecasting. Clear? Planning itself means what? Deciding the things. You are making, you are thinking that such and such raw material price may get reduced after 3 months or 4 months. Then what you will do? You will wait for some time to buy that product. But might possible that the rates of such raw material get increased in after 3 months also. So nothing is predicted, but still it is required while planning the production. For forecasting is necessary, or forecasting is required, or forecasting is compulsory. So price policy. Before deciding the prices of the product in the market, before selling the product in the market, the policy of the price needs to be decided. Now all deciding, taking the decisions regarding the different policies is the job of top level management, the job of managers or managing directors. They are deciding the prices, because fixation of a price, decision of a price is one of the important work or one of the important duty of these officials. Because deciding the price, it means it is directly related with the output or profit earning activity. So the profit earned obviously will depend on the price, the rate of the product. So before deciding or before taking decision for the prices, or before deciding the pricing policy of the product, forecasting is done, forecasting is required. Clear? So where the forecasting is required? Before doing the production planning, that before deciding the prices of the product, that is called price policy, the demand forecasting is done. Demand forecasting is essential. Now cost reduction. So here cost reduction, it means what? Once the prices are decided, once the top level management have taken the decision that such and such is the cost, such and such is the price, which is fixed, now it cannot be changed. But now the cost reduction is somehow related to the raw material. Just now I have given you the example. Considering the future, a producer thinks that the raw material prices may be reduced, or the raw material prices, he thinks that he should save his money, and for saving that money, what he can do? He will wait before buying. He will say for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, I will wait, I will hold my production, and then only I will buy the raw material. So that helps in cost reduction. It is said that that might help in reducing the cost. If you are reducing the cost while or before buying the raw material, then ultimately you are earning the profit. How you are earning the profit? Then it is easy for you to decide the price of the product before selling, before your product enter into the market. Okay, so cost reduction is one of the point of importance of demand forecasting. Assistance to multi-product firms. Okay, assistance to multi-product firm. It means a company or a firm or a unit who is producing a different product from a single raw material. Here we will take the example of rubber industry. Rubber industry is producing different kinds of plastic products. That plastic may be plastic chairs, that plastic may be different small items, simple bowls of plastic. There are n number of products which has been produced with the help of rubber. So assistance to a multi-product firms. So it is definitely going to assist the producer who is producing a multi-product. So it is said assistance to a multi-product firms. As rubber, from rubber what are the different products, what are the finished goods which can be produced with the help of that raw material. The main raw material is used is rubber. Then there are rubber bottles we can say, then we can say the chairs, the table, the furniture. There are lot of products which have been produced with the help of this industry, with the help of this raw material. So it helps. To whom it helps? The person, the producer who is involved in multi-product firms. So it assists them, it helps them. So demand forecasting is compulsory, we can say, or it is necessary for the multi-product producing firms. Then financial planning. Financial planning. How much finance is required for running the manufacturing unit? It means, again, it is a planning. How much finance is required? How much money I will need to run my industry? These are the questions arising in the mind of a producer. So for that finance, okay, financial planning is done. Finance is the essence of the business, and the businessman is always looking for from where I can save my money, okay, and how I can increase my output, how I can earn maximum profit with the available resources. So financial planning is very much necessary and very much depending upon the forecasting, okay. Then taking the experiences or the plans which have been made in the past, okay, and what is the output is received from those financial plans. So the producer will look after, he will go through those plans. Those plans may be short term plans, long term plans, etc., etc. But considering and referring those plans which have been used in the past, which has been utilized, which were very fruitful for the past, he will follow those plans and accordingly the financial planning will be made. Then manpower planning. Likewise, if the person who is producing what we can say in the product, like here we can take the example of a steel product, okay. A steel product means for producing the steel products, okay, the manpower, how much manpower, how many laborers, how many subordinates are required for that single activity is planned under demand forecasting. That is why it is called manpower planning. Means how many persons are required on that job, okay, the number of persons, number of employees which is essential for running the business unit or which are necessary for making successful that particular project. This is covered under manpower plan. Then customer satisfaction. The ultimate aim of every business unit is satisfying their customer. So to earn the maximum satisfaction of the consumer, forecasting is done, and that forecasting depends upon the past experiences, present scenario of the business, considering the future of the product. So consumer satisfaction is the ultimate aim of every business unit. Their consumer must get satisfied. Then inventory management and advertisement strategy. Inventory means again raw material, okay, the work in progress. What is the situation of the work in progress? What is the condition of the raw material? How many the amount of raw material having with that producer? That is inventory management. Means what? Here we can say that the producer means before doing the demand forecasting, he will go through all these topics. He will see that if I need to do a production planning, then what are the things is required? If I have to decide the prices for my product, if I have to buy the raw material, if I have to produce the multi products, I have to do the financial planning, how manpower I am required, then customer satisfaction and inventory management. It is a management, it is not a small topic. So inventory management and advertisement strategy. Advertisement strategy means what? He has to decide what type or what kind of advertisement to be made on different media. For example, he needs to show his advertisement on television, and the same product another company is showing the advertisement for their product. Then what changes, what different he can show with help of his company's advertisement. That is what is advertisement strategy. How much money to be spent on the advertisement, that is decided in advertisement strategy, okay. So these are the factors for importance of demand forecasting. And now the scope of demand forecasting. In case of scope of demand forecasting, it means what? for how long or up to what extent the demand forecasting is required. It means the scope of demand forecasting, the area of operation. It depends upon the the capacity of your production unit. Being a producer, being a manufacturer, okay, area of operation, how much area has been covered. It means to what state, up to what location your products are reached. Many times it happens that the products are sold in local market only, okay, the products are sold in particular region only, they are not circulated or they are not distributed towards the whole state or towards the at the national level. So the area of operation is considered in the scope of demand forecasting. What is considered? The area of operation is considered in demand forecasting. So the firm who is operating in particular area, they will consider that if their production plant is in Maharashtra, then what are the nearby localities, what is the nearby area which is covered by their product, up to what extent they can reach, they can sell their product, that is what is area of operation. Then availability of data, okay, now availability of data means what? The demand forecasting is done with the help of data. Okay, there are researchers, there are the persons who are engaged in this forecasting activity. So availability of data, the past experiences they have, the past business plans they have used, okay, their balance sheet shows the profit or loss of the last year. So they are taking help of those data and accordingly that available data covered under scope of demand forecasting. Then accuracy. As we have said that that demand forecasting itself is uncertain, but to try to achieve more and more accuracy, it means what? Why this all is done? Demand forecasting is done just to avoid the overproduction, underproduction or estimation. So the things, the resources should not go waste. That is the main idea behind demand forecasting. The resources should not go waste. The available resources must be used up to the maximum limit, okay, optimum utilization of available resources, and that is why accuracy is somehow related with that point. Simple and easy techniques, okay. The next is the methods of demand forecasting, but before that, the technique or the method you are adopting for doing the demand forecasting, that must be simple and easy, okay. Simple and easy technique, simple and easy method should be used for demand forecasting, that is covered under the scope of demand forecasting. Then levels of technology. Levels of technology means as there are always rapid changes in technology. On a daily basis, in case of electronics items and so on, the technology is changing on daily basis. So this rapid changes in the technology, so it means from at the end of the producer, he must know what are the changes which has been taken place in the technological world, so that the forecasting which he is doing, the researchers or the persons who are doing the demand forecasting for his company, for a particular producer, they should think about the technology, the advanced technology or the current technology which is moving in the market, that must be considered. Then economic outlook. Now what do you think with this economic outlook? See, the today's world, as just now we have discussed, technologically developed. So with the help of globalization, liberalization, the things are moving ahead. So to match with the economy, okay, to remain with the competitors, the producer, he has to take into the consideration that economic look, okay, the available money with him for the demand forecasting. So he should adopt or he should follow that method which will save his time, which will save his money, but at the same time the function of demand forecasting, the main idea of demand forecasting must be successful. So economic outlook is also one of the points which is considered in scope of demand forecasting. So I think This is sufficient for today. And these methods of demand forecasting. What is demand forecasting method? Survey of buyer's intention, then collective opinion method, then expert opinion, then statistical method again which has 4 parts, then controlled experiments and study of general economic environment. I think this is sufficient for today. In the next lecture, we will go through with the methods of demand forecasting. And today we have seen the importance and scope of the demand forecasting. In last session, we have seen its meaning and definition. And today we have completed importance and scope. And in the next session, we will see this method in detail. Today I have just written the different kinds of methods on the board. But in the next session, I will explain you in detail regarding these different methods. Along with that, we will start the another topic, that is law of supply. So this is sufficient, this is enough for today, and other things we will see in our next lecture. Thank you.